Hello Sunshine, it's Steph and welcome back to my YouTube channel, where each week I share with you lessons on how you can turn your own passions into paid gigs as a freelancer online. Thank you so much for being here. It truly means the world to me that you are part of my little Sunshine community here, and I'm really thrilled to share with you this lesson today. Now, last week I talked all about AI technology, so if you haven't yet watched that one, go watch it here to learn how you can use things like ChatGPT to improve your freelance copywriting as well as your listings. Now, this week's an exciting topic because it's going to take a load off your back. This is all about how you can hire out an assistant to help manage your freelancing business. That's right, I've had an assistant for 2 years now. It takes the workload off my back of those little tasks of messaging people back and forth to land a gig or a sale. And so today I want to share with you the reasons why you may want to hire a virtual or online assistant to help with managing your freelancing business. And also you'll get to hear from my assistant, Theresa, as I asked her a couple questions about her thoughts about Fiverr freelancing management. So stay tuned till the very end to hear her thoughts and also to learn about a brand new offer to join a growing community of positive, like-minded women in the freelancing world. Today's topic, hiring an assistant to help you manage your freelancing business. So let's go ahead and tackle the first question, why? Why would anyone want to do this? Well, why would anyone want to hire an assistant in the first place, whether it be a personal assistant or a virtual assistant or an online business manager, just someone to help kind of oversee your overall business or to help you with some of the smaller tasks? Why? Well, it will save you time. It will save you time from having to handle some of the small messaging back and forth and management of some of your orders, so that instead you can focus your valuable time on creating, on doing the actual task that people are hiring you to do, right? So if my hourly rate is, let's say $50, but my assistant's hourly rate, I'm just going to throw out a random number, this is not it, but let's say it's $15 an hour. Who should be the one that's spending the time doing the small, easy task that doesn't require really any skill at all of just messaging people back and forth all day long? Should I be investing my valuable time into doing that when I am extremely busy? Or should I instead lay that off to my assistant, let her handle it for a smaller hourly rate so that more of my valuable time can be spent actually creating and doing the stuff that I enjoy? Right? So you may want to hire an assistant to help you with doing some of these smaller management sort of tasks. If you are someone who is busy, if you are someone who really doesn't like doing some certain tasks, and if you're truly ready to start growing and scaling your business. Because when you don't have to manage the little messages back and forth, you can have more time to create valuable content, valuable deliveries, to get happier customers, to keep getting more and more orders. You can focus on that growth and future growth of your freelancing business if you don't have to handle an hour a day of messaging people. So how do you go about hiring an assistant to help you manage your freelancing business? Well, you can do word of mouth, just kind of asking around friends, family, people within your networking circle to see if anyone can provide you with virtual or online assistant work. Or you can, of course, put up a job listing somewhere like Upwork or Fiverr.com, find an assistant on there. Personally, I used the word of mouth version to make sure that I could find someone that I trust, that was great at what they did, and I'm super happy with Theresa, who I hired 2 years ago, and she's been with me ever since to help manage my Fiverr business. But go about finding someone in whatever way you are comfortable with, and make sure you ask them the right questions. They've got to be super on top of things, organized, getting things done timely. Because if you watch one of my past videos all about communication, especially on a freelancing platform like Fiverr, it's so important that your communication is very, very fast. So when you hire someone to be your assistant, they've got to be great at communication, professional and friendly, and they've got to be very good at time management, making sure that they can reply to things very timely, that they can hop onto your Fiverr or other freelancing accounts several times a day to ensure that they are replying back to messages as quick as possible. Now, when it comes to paying your assistant, that's between you and them, but you can pay them on an hourly basis or on a per project basis. So for example, you could pay them, let's say $15 to $20 an hour, or you could pay them, let's say, to manage your Fiverr for 1 week. It could be like a weekly or a monthly thing. That's between you and them. Ultimately, personally, I like to do on the hourly basis for this. And the reason is my Fiverr fluctuates. There are certain months of the year where it's very, very busy. And then the summer months, it tends to slow down a little bit. And so for that reason, I like to pay my assistant on an hourly basis. But you're the boss, so it's up to you. What exactly can your assistant do for you for your freelancing business? Well, personally, my assistant, she mostly does management of my communications, meaning she logs into my Fiverr account 3 times a day at a minimum to reply to any and all messages. Messages from people who just have general questions, messages from people who want to hire me, messages from people who want a quote first. She handles all of the communication, and she's on there for about 30 to 60 minutes per day to handle all the messages that come in. Because I wake up in the mornings and there's sometimes 20 messages, that can take a while to get through and reply to everyone. Even with the little canned saved responses that we use on Fiverr, it can still take a while to get back to everyone in a timely manner. So that's mostly what my assistant does, is managing those Fiverr messages. Another thing she helps me with is, since I do UGC product video creation, people are shipping me products all the time. So anytime we do land a sale and people are ready to ship me their product, she handles that shipping process. She sends them my shipping information, and she keeps logs of the products that are being shipped to me, so it's nice and organized, so that when I get a box at my door, all I have to do is look at her logs and I can see who it's from and get started on the order. But of course, what your assistant does for you will depend based on what services you provide as a freelancer. Perhaps you are a copywriter or a writer as a freelancer, and perhaps you want to hire your assistant to not only manage your account, but also provide some proofreading and editing. Then make sure that your assistant has those skills. Perhaps you're a photographer and you love shooting footage, but you don't really love the editing part. So perhaps you hire your assistant to not only manage your accounts, but also edit photos. So you want to make sure that they have that skill to know how to edit those photos for you the way that you want it done. Or another example, maybe you create voiceovers or videos and you love creating that, but maybe you don't like writing out the script that you have to read and say in the video or the voiceover. So perhaps you hire an assistant to help you not only with your freelancing management, but also script writing. So you want to make sure they have that skill of being able to write about various topics. All of those are just examples to open your eyes to the fact that your freelancing assistant can do whatever you want them to do. You just have to hire the right person, and you have to train them to do things the way that you'd like it done. It's pretty simple. Personally, I like to use asana.com. It's a great way to assign tasks to your assistant. You can go in there and create certain tasks with little checklists to them, set a due date, assign it to them. You can also attach documents with any further instructions. So it's a really nice way to assign certain tasks to them, especially in an organized manner. All right, you guys. Now, Theresa, she's been my assistant for 2 years now, and she's amazing, and she does more than just freelance management for me. But I did want to pick her brain and ask her 3 questions for today's YouTube, just to give you an idea of her thoughts on what it's like to be a freelance assistant. So the first question I asked her, what's your #1 piece of advice for securing more orders for me? Like, how are you so successful at getting me lots of orders each week? Theresa said her #1 piece of advice to securing me more orders was to check Fiverr often. She says don't go more than a few hours. Better yet, set notifications on your phone app so that when people have questions, they're messaging you throughout the day, you're checking it every time there's a notification. The more, the better. And if someone has to wait too long to hear from you, well, they have thousands of other options they can go hire on Fiverr. So it's really important to be responsive. My second question to her was, what do you enjoy most about managing my freelancing? She said the most fun part about managing a Fiverr with seeing all the amazing products that people have for sale. She said there's some really creative people out there, and it's kind of fun to be behind the scenes on a lot of that and see some of these products that aren't even released to the public yet when we're just messaging about creating these advertisements and these videos and photos for them. And finally, I asked her, is it easy to be a freelance assistant? She said in terms of ease, 1 being the easiest, 5 being the hardest, she said Fiverr is a 1.5. It's really not that difficult to do, especially if you have systems in place like those lightning canned responses and using great questionnaires to make sure you get as much information from people as possible. She said it's really not that difficult. There's just sometimes some tough customers to work with, to please, but otherwise, she says this is an easy peasy job. So if you are here and maybe you are a freelancer starting to get busy, building up, scaling, and you're ready to put some of those smaller tasks into an assistance bucket, then I highly recommend you consider hiring an assistant, even if it's just for a couple hours a week. That will free up a couple hours of your time to focus on the big picture view of your freelancing business, how to scale it, and keep growing from there. Or if you're watching this and you are someone who's organized and could hop onto Fiverr several times a day and you want to become a freelance assistant for someone, then leave a comment below and maybe someone will see it and reach out to you. So you guys, as you can see, having a freelance assistant, it just makes my life easier, frees up more time for me to create and do the things that I enjoy, and it's an easy job. So I highly recommend you consider it. Now, today I mentioned I have this new special community I'm building. So here's the thing. I am building a Slack community, a community for positive, like-minded business women to join, where we can support each other on our freelancing journeys. This is a community that I want to be active, something that excites us, that we want to hop in there every day and support each other and ask questions and share feedback and share the latest freelance website to sell on and share the latest tips for pleasing our clients and buyers on freelancing platforms. I want us to be active in there and help each other grow our freelance businesses together. Now, this is something that is eventually going to be a paid service, but at the moment, I wanted to offer just to you guys in my YouTube family here the opportunity to join this freelance community for free as a founding member. You'll be put into the group for the rest of your life, and it will be completely free to you as long as you're active in there and just staying a positive light to others. So if you're someone who is interested in joining this free Slack community for freelancing females, then leave me a comment below or DM me on Instagram at Steph Dorworth. Just DM me the word freelancing females and I'll be like, okay, you're ready to join the community, and I will send you the invites. You can get support from the other women in there as well as myself, whether you're freelancing on Fiverr or any other marketplaces. This is a general community to talk all things online freelancing. So I'd love to invite you to join me on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because there's not many communities like this out there, especially that are free. I'd love to have you. If this is something that interests you, just reach out and let me know. Also, be sure you subscribe so you can get notified each time a new video comes out each week. Just tap that little subscribe below, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Peace and love.